All right, everyone. So right after the Cesar Sayok mail bombing event, we have another tragic event. This time, the guy was somebody called Robert Bowers, and he shot and killed 11 people yesterday in a Pittsburgh synagogue. This is a very interesting case because for the first time in quite a few time, the the media, the mainstream media, couldn't build their narrative properly, and they kind of backpedaled on the Trump supporters' narrative. All right, this is how they do it. They take an isolated sample of violence, a lonely wolf, as we know it, and they try to stick the name Trump into the headline, or the alt right, or whatever, something related. But in this particular event, they failed. They bombed. They couldn't build the narrative, and eventually had to admit that not all racists are Trump supporters, and not all Trump supporters are racist and KKK members. So, this guy, Robert Bowers, is a self-proclaimed National Socialist and allegedly shouted, "All Jews must die," right before he started shooting the people at the synagogue. Now, if you followed the Trump campaign from the very beginning, you know that the racists, right-wingers, some of the most extreme, hardcore members of the alt-right, actually got disappointed with Trump. Since he's an avid Israel supporter, he has Jews in his team and his family, and he never said anything bad about Jews. And he never addressed the Jewish question, and he didn't seek Heil at his rallies, as some people would have liked. This is why the new conservatism is split. There's the alt-right, where all these kind of more extremists, and there's this other part of the new right, of the alt-right, which is called the alt-light, which is the mock name that the extremists used to refer these Trump supporters who don't have a racist problem, who don't have a problem with racism, such as Steve Bannon, Milo Yiannopoulos, Gavin McInnes, Mike Cernovich, Laura Loomer, etc. The alt-light are actually most of the new conservatives, since most of the people who stand in the right side of the spectrum, they do it because of economic and political and social issues, and not because of genetics. The racists are a very small and crazy minority. Oh, and by the way, alt-righters despised the alt-lighters. They saw them as traitors, they harassed them, they made fun of them, they mocked them. If you don't believe me, just look for these mocking videos of Mike Cernovich. They got off on the poor dude. They actually harassed his family. He was very ugly. Things got very ugly with that dude. I don't know why. Those videos and those memes mocking the alt-lighters are not made by liberals, since we all know the left can meme. Those are made by the most extreme brand of the alt-right, the ones who read the Daily Stormer and listened to the Daily Show, a podcast. So these extremists were hugely disappointed by Trump. They despised Trump. They despised Trump supporters, and actually got off the Trump train right before he got into the presidency, because they realized that Donald Trump was not the Aryan Messiah they were looking for, and he wasn't starting the Fourth Reich. But the mainstream media omitted this. They omitted this split, this division. They never told people that most of all Trump supporters are not Nazis and KKK members who hate Jews and blacks. And they never told the people that most of Nazis actually didn't like Trump because to them he's like a wimp. But instead, they put them all in the same sack and started the narrative that Trump is in charge because the KKK voted for him. And of course, no mention of Milo being gay and married to a black guy, Laurel Loomer being a Jewish woman, Gavin McInnes being an anarchist punk married to a Native American woman, Mike Cernovich being married to a Latino woman. No. The narrative said that they were Nazis and racist and sexist and whatever. And if they address these things, the people will find out that these all-lighters are not really Nazis or KKK members. So the narrative would break and the great deception would be finally exposed. All right, this is what's been going on since 2015. Until now. The mainstream media couldn't dodge the Bauer's post in the Gab social platform saying that he hated Trump because he's not a true nationalist and he let the Jews enter in the government. So they finally had to admit it. Here's a case of a racist, anti-Semitic Nazi who despises Donald Trump, and that means that not all Nazis love Donald Trump. So suddenly, there's a big question mark in all the story they've been building and telling us since 2015. And there's a big question mark also in their so-called journalistic integrity. And now, they're going off on Gab, the social network. And this is what actually bugs me of the leftist media. They actually backpedaled a little bit. They kind of took the shot, but not before misdirecting you with some other shit. They said, okay, there's an anti-Trump Nazi. We told you all Nazis supported Trump, but here's one who doesn't, so yeah. But anyway, who is this Gab? What is this thing anyway? They let this guy post shit in here? They don't ban Nazis just like Twitter does? Let's discuss this. Forget about what we told you a year ago. Who remembers this? Let's discuss this. This is important. So this is what they do. They misdirect you. And this is why the big media platforms don't face any consequences for spreading blatant lies. They quickly misdirect you. So they cushion the shock of being deceived and lied to constantly for a period of time. And so what should we do now? I think we should address and denounce this. We've been called Nazis and racists and hate-fueled people for 3 years now. It is finally time for a retribution, I think. The big deception is being exposed, finally. And if you're a Hillary supporter or a Trump critic, which is fine, first of all, thank you. Thank you for trying to get some other points of view. And second of all, this story should be a piece of evidence for you to see that probably everything you believed about Donald Trump and his supporters might not be 100% true. Remember, according to the media, we were all Nazis until yesterday. So, I mean, get out there, do your research, and get the truth on your own. If you still don't like Trump, it's okay, but get the truth on your own because CNN and the New York Times are not gonna get it for you. Okay, so, yeah, this is it. Thanks for watching and God bless you.